Hi everyone, I'm Sky, and welcome to this top 10 video where I show you 10 furry Nintendo Switch games that are so freaking adorable and fun, you just have to play them. Okay, so in no particular order, we're going to start things off with Kataria Fables, a cute, colourful and vibrant action-adventure RPG. This adorable fluffy game will give you elements of farming, crafting and even allow for two-player couch co-op so you and a fellow kid can go on an adventure together. Our adventure starts in Poor Village, where we pretty much meet our companions, get given quests and learn about the rising darkness that is trying to spiral the land of Kataria into chaos. The Empire has called upon us to go and defeat this darkness and rescue anyone in need of saving. We come across various characters, all of which have their roles to play, whether it be a quest giver or merchant, and they all look cute and unique in their own way. This game is also available on other platforms other than Nintendo Switch, and you can download it on Steam as well. Next up we have Spirit of the North. Spirit of the North is a third-person adventure game that has been released on other platforms as well, but finally found its way onto the Nintendo Switch. Possibly one of the most chill games out there in my opinion. You play as a fox who gains the powers of a spirit after collapsing from exhaustion. You use these powers throughout the mysterious landscapes of Iceland. It is atmospheric, and its slight open world aesthetic makes it feel very free to roam and explore. You'll come across puzzles and challenges that'll get you thinking on your paws. The game doesn't have any dialogue or narrative, but in its defense with how the game is supposed to look and be played, it's not really needed anyway. You're supposed to look around without being guided. You're meant to witness the game's charm and explore this world on your own. There are mixed reviews on this game, and I think that may be due to how potentially plain it can all seem at first glance, but beyond this lies a beautiful, relaxing game filled with exploration, and in my opinion is definitely worth the try to see if it's a game for you. Next up we have Klonoa Phantasy Reverie series. This game is fun as heck, and I don't care what anyone says. I played this game on PlayStation 1 originally and even had it on Nintendo Wii, but I was hoping that we would someday get a remaster of these games as they're so cute and colourful and damn well deserve it. And here we are! We have Klonoa 1 and 2 on the Nintendo Switch finally, and it means that many of us will get to relive this experience or experience it for the first time in high definition. Klonoa is, I'm gonna say, a cabbit because it resembles features of both a cat and rabbit, although some will say that there are also dog-like features as well. Klonoa is a platform video game series created by Namco in 1997, making this series 25 years old and very much still exciting. You play as Klonoa and on mostly a side-scrolling adventure take on various obstacles, obtaining collectibles and defeating foes. There are various gameplay mechanics that the player can take advantage of to get the most out of their gameplay experience. You can use Klonoa's ring and wind bullets to inflate enemies that you can then use to get a boost to higher platforms, or you can choose to throw these enemies at other enemies. This is not only exciting but unique for its time, as it's nice to have platforming choices to manipulate our experience. Up next we have Furwind. The thing I love about Furwind is how colourful and pixelated this action platformer is. It takes us back to the old days of gaming where the graphics of the games at the time were mostly pixelated and very challenging in their own ways. With Furwind, you can expect platforming on a side-scrolling adventure and taking enemies out with a side sweep using his tail or using an aerial butt slam. Makes sense, foxes are bottoms, so there's that. The movement of the game seems and feels quite smooth for the most part. As you progress along your journey to eradicating evil, you'll learn new power-ups such as dashes that can be used to hurt enemies, as well as using this skill to traverse a little easier too. You can also power these skills up from the in-game shop that allows you to get more charges out of them to become even more of a fluffy badass. You can also power up your health and stamina, which are crucial if you want to have a more comfortable time when faced against challenging foes such as bosses. Next we have Ty the Tasmanian Tiger. This game was released in 2002 for Nintendo GameCube, PlayStation 2 and Xbox. 20 years later we get the remaster, and it's a great opportunity for new gen gamers to give this older 3D platforming adventure game a try. You play as Ty, who has to gather mystical artifacts known as Thunder Eggs to power a talisman machine. The talisman machine is a teleportation device that will locate 5 mystical talismans, which will in turn have the power to free his family from the Dreaming. The Dreaming is an alternate realm where his family have been trapped by the antagonist of this game known as Boss Cass. You'll start your adventure in Rainbow Cliffs, an LGBT friendly zone that is divided into a series of other zones that pretty much gets treated as the hub areas of the game. Within these zones lie 3 portals that take the player to various different levels with elements of challenges and platforming that they can expect to face. You'll pick up skills and weapons along the way to make your gameplay experience easier, such as Doggy Paddle, which is the swimming skill, alongside the starting weapons of 2 wooden and boomerangs that can be upgraded by Julius if the player is collecting golden cogs throughout the game. Next we have Animal Crossing. Now if you didn't see this one come in, then I don't know how, because it is by far one of the most popular games on the Nintendo Switch. After selling over 37 million copies of the game, it's not exactly hard to see why. There have been a huge, overwhelming catalogue of worlds that people have made and uploaded that you can go and visit. Various different worlds that take inspiration from games, movies and shows. The main point of the game is to build your island the way you want it. After of course giving Tom Nook the necessary payments needed to make this happen, this currency being bells of course, upon following the main plot of the game, which is essentially building your very own island from the ground up, or the ground down depending on how you want it laid out, the customization aspects give you a whole toolbox of useful tools that you can use to make your island yours. Now it's not just making an island unique to you that this game is all about. You have a huge selection of other things that you can do as well, such as fishing, digging for fossils and completing a museum by handing these fossils in. You can grow plants, cut down trees, explore other islands, swim for sea life, decorate your home, purchase costumes, customize your character and collect an impressive library of items that you can place pretty much anywhere on your island. This is one of those games that you and your friends can play online and wipe out an entire day if needed. Next up we have the Crash Insane Trilogy, and I can't leave this game out of the top 10 because it's amazing and it's Crash Bandicoot. What's not to love? This trilogy is incredibly well made and has given the original overly challenging platformer for the PlayStation 1 the fair treatment that it well deserves. If you haven't played any of the original Crash Bandicoot games in your lifetime, I highly suggest you do, but be warned they can be very challenging at times, especially if you're going for no death runs, which is sometimes a thing you need to do to obtain certain gems. You get the option to play as Coco Bandicoot as well, and she has a spinning kick which in my opinion had a pretty good duration and range on it, so I tended to use her more than Crash. And also for speedrunning as well, as I found her slightly faster. And it's Coco. You get to face off against these unique bosses that all have a method for defeating them. When you figure this out, it's not only fun but makes you see the enjoyment aspect that the creators were going for when they scripted out how these bosses should be fought. Platformers like this will give you nightmares though, especially the bonus level that you can download known as Stormy Ascent, a level that was so damn hard that it was never officially released on the original game. And if you're brave like I was, you can do the time trial for this stage too. Have fun! Okay, so next we have Super Epic The Entertainment War. You play as a rebellious raccoon alongside your llama steed and explore a surreal castle environment filled with enemies, puzzles, secrets and corporate pigs. Your mission is to break into their headquarters and uncover the conspiracy and save video games. You're part of this resistance that are fighting against an evil corporation that are using money tactics and microtransactions to essentially make gamers addicted. Wow, this stuff sounds like stuff we have all seen and know. The gimmick of the enemies is the fact that they are mainly pigs, which makes a mockery of them. You have an array of different attacks that you can combo together, as well as being able to obtain ranged attacks as well in this pixel art side-scrolling platforming adventure. So many furry platforming. Why do they do this to us? This game is filled with fun weapons that you can buy and use. I mean, in how many games can you use a stop sign as a weapon? Overall, the art style is nice. I don't mind a side-scrolling pixel game personally, as I grew up with a lot of these kind of games such as Sonic, and I admire companies trying to bring these style of games back, not only for older gamers like myself, but also to give newer gamers a chance to experience gaming in this way. Next we have Legend of Kay, another action adventure and platformer. Damn, maybe it's punishment for being a furry. But anyway, we play as a cat named Kay, and our objective and point of existence in this game is to save his once peaceful island from the gorillas and rats who have taken it over. Kay will use ancient ninja skills to defeat his foes after he is done traversing around this cartoon-like world filled with puzzles and platforming. The game has its moments of high intense action where the player will find themselves ganged up on by groups of enemies that they need to fight their way through. This makes for an exciting opportunity to use the many skills in combat we have learnt to show off what we can do. And with Kay's almost corny lines, we can tell that perhaps some of the skills may have gone to his head. Some people think that the protagonist should have been kept silent for this reason due to his lines making him sound potentially obnoxious, but this is all down to personal opinion. Released originally for the PlayStation 2 back in 2005, I remember owning this game and not really playing it as much as the other furry platforming games I had at the time. That being said, it is exciting to see it remastered and brought forward onto a next-gen system, as I now have the chance to pick it up and play it again. And lastly on this top 10 we have New Super Lucky's Tale. This game is adorable, and I mean hecking adorable. You play as a happy-go-lucky fox who just wants to get back to his family. Throughout yet again another action platformer, you'll encounter puzzles throughout the world and obtain certain collectibles such as the letters to Lucky's name, throughout each stage to get bonus rewards like costumes. Lucky doesn't say much, and this is okay, because most of the time we're either too busy spinning our tail against enemies or dive bombing onto them to worry about vocals. I personally love this game. It's so colourful, the worlds are unique and fun in their own way, the enemies and characters that you meet throughout the stages all have relevance to the kind of environment that you're in, which also I thought was really neat. The bosses of each world lead you up to the end boss in an entertaining fashion, as throughout these bosses we learn to fully take advantage and make the most out of the skills we have at our disposal. The other thing I love is how nostalgically set up the game is, and what I mean by that is how we have these spinning 3D coins and letters for Lucky's name, as well as other 3D objects that just remind us a lot of the older games, like for example more traditionally on the PlayStation 1. New Super Lucky's Tale will give you a taste of both newer and older gaming aspects and smoosh them into one exciting adventure. Once you've played through the game once though, it has a hard time maintaining replayability, as you'll know how to solve certain puzzles and recollecting everything can sometimes not be as fun. That being said, it has been a while since I have played this game and I would have no problem going back to it again. What did you think of this list? Do you have your own opinions on what games I could have mentioned? Let me know below, as well as telling me what you thought of this top 10 video. If you liked what you watched, I'd invite you to subscribe, as I have a whole bunch of extra content on this channel just waiting to be seen. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see you all in my next video. See ya!